Hello and welcome to the Conscious Choices for Wellness podcast. This is your host, B. Cretelli, and I am happy to be here with y'all. This is my second episode. Actually, this is my first. This is my first or second episode of the year. Um, I don't remember. I did one right around New Year's, or it was either right before or after. And here we are. Yesterday was a very special day. I enjoyed myself very much being able to stay home. I used to have a ritual that I'm hoping to get back to of staying home and off the roads. Um, Off the roads meaning not bringing a motor vehicle onto the roads at least one day a week and just, having a day of staying home. I don't work from home as much as I wish that I did. I work partly from home, but I do have to go out quite a bit. And so yesterday was 111, the 11th day, which was a very angelic day. Yesterday was a day of mourning someone that has been in many, I want to say thousands or millions of people across the planet and has made quite an impact on the planet over the last 60 years. And I wanted to have recognition of living and living the life that you want to live. Many of us have been conditioned to live lives that we don't really like living, and we're not doing what we are here to do, and that makes us unhappy as people. I believe many of us are now trying to do more of what we love because, time really does go by, and then pretty soon you realize that there's only so much time left. And for myself, I have lived well over half of my life already, maybe even 2/3 or more of my life. And it's like, wow, holy shit, when you come to be, in midlife and you realize that you've lived over half your life, and you really need to assess where you're at and where you want to go and what you want to do with the time that you have left that is precious. So, a life well lived is one that you did what you loved. You accomplished what you desired. You lived out every day with your ambitions that lit you up. I think possibly my next license plate that I'm going to get will say "Be lit up," because what lights you up every day is really what we're here for. Living a grateful life. I titled this Eyes of the World, which you will soon see why. A life well lived is one that others can see is one well lived and will forever be an example for future generations to live by. Inspiring, right? We're all here to inspire one another. We're all connected, giving inspiration to others by leading by example. Um, Others being able to see that you are doing what you love so that they can also do what they love, right? Others being able to be influenced by you in positive ways because you are a positive influence on the world. That is also inspiration to others. So, in my blog, I have a photo that I spontaneously took on the top of a tall building on the bay side of San Francisco. It's a beautiful photo. I just, of course, captured it because I love to capture beautiful photos. And I was not really knowing at the time until maybe an hour or two later of what had happened that day, which was Saturday. So the photo, if you look, I will put a link to the blog in the show notes here. And if you see the photo, it's a beautiful photo of San Francisco, beautiful, fabulous city that I am very honored to live next to. A dear friend of mine had texted me just a few hours before it had gotten dark, or maybe just about an hour and a half before it had gotten dark, a lyric from out of nowhere, a Grateful Dead lyric. And I knew it sounded familiar, but I was like, why is he texting me this? So I texted him back, are you okay? I was actually in intermission of Cirque du Soleil, and I wasn't sure why he had texted this. So I went back to the show. I was on a date, and so after the show, we, walked up to this building, and it had just gotten dark, and we're overlooking the city, and I took this picture. Well, little did I know that the lyric was his sign to me that the beloved Bob Weir from the Grateful Dead had passed on at age 78. Now, my parents are turning 78. They are both of the same age. And this year they will also be 78 years old. So this, is quite a special year. If you've made it this long, it's quite a life. I really don't know if I will live that long, and to me that is quite a life lived. Many do live older, many do die younger, and for Weir, that is a miraculous life because he influenced so many over the 60 years of his career doing what he loved. He was born a native of the city of San Francisco, lived later across the Golden Gate Bridge in Marin, where I live currently, and his other band members, Jerry Garcia and Phil Lush, also lived when they left us. He had played guitar and sang his heart out in the San Francisco Bay since the mid 60s up until just this last year at the 60th anniversary final show in Golden Gate Park. Dedication of his entire life as an artist and one of the most successful musicians of all time, I would say, playing until the end, doing what he loved most. This is an inspiration for many to do what you love, your passion. He knew why he was here. He was living his dream. The last shows happened on my birthday weekend, which was also Jerry's. Proudly, I share with Jerry Garcia. My birthday is just one day before his. Now, I did not get to go to these shows, and I could have gone to that very last show. So I think, possibly part of my morning yesterday as I watched that last show on YouTube was realizing that I could have been there in real time, but I chose family instead. My son was coming to town that afternoon when the show would have been starting, and there was not a ticket for him to go to the show. There was only one that a friend was gifting me. And so I would have had to tell my son that I couldn't be there to welcome him and to be with him that day when he was coming in from LA. I hadn't seen him for months, and I chose to be with my son instead. So that is okay. We all know as fans that Bob's time was coming to an end, but he promised himself and his old beloved bandmates, including Jerry, that he would play until the end. As Bobby sang that final day, the sun gonna shine in my backyard someday, the wind gonna blow all my troubles away. I wish I was a headline on a northbound train. I shine my light through. I know you rider, gonna miss me when I'm gone. I know you rider, gonna miss me when I'm gone. Gone, gone, gonna miss me, baby. Yes, so he also ended the night with Touch of Grey. We will survive. We will get by. Whew. I watched that last night, the tail end of that show, and that was the goodbye. And I'm sure a big part of him knew that that was the final show, as he stated, and he had stated, and he had stated, and he had stated many times before, the years prior to his death, because he knew his time was coming and he wanted to let his fans know that this could be the last show. And indeed, that was. And it was the 60th anniversary of the Grateful Dead. The Grateful Dead, having so many songs touching on death, loss, and remembrance, including spiritual reflections like Broke Down Palace, Box of Rain, Stella Blue, and Black Muddy River. Bluesy laments such as Death Don't Have No Mercy, and more reflective pieces like Birdsong, He's Gone, and So Many Roads, often exploring mortality, letting go, and finding peace in the natural flow of life and death. And there are many, many more as well. Tears are being shed all over the world. I am feeling chills run through my soul this day as I mourn this legend that literally changed my life and endless others' lives forever. Having such influences on my being since the late 80s, honored to have seen him play many times, as well as briefly meeting Bobby actually recently face to face with his wife Natasha here in Marin back in, it was either March or April of 2024 at my place of work in Mill Valley where he lived. He needed magnesium glycinate. And we all need some more magnesium glycinate. So that is my little supplement tip in this episode. This legendary artist left behind his wonderful wife, Natasha, and beautiful two daughters in their 20s. We could all tell the time was coming. Key lead band members have all passed on now, and this is truly the end of the Grateful Dead as we knew it. Like their song, Big River states, I'm going to sit right here until I die. And so they all did. Living what Jerry, Phil, and Bobby sang in their legendary songs, followed by millions of fans. Bob Weir really did all he had promised the world, living out his life's dream. This is how I see it. I am honored to have experienced the medicine the Dead's music brought me. It's no coincidence that his final show with remaining GD band members was in San Francisco, as it should have been. Broken Down Palace was released in 1970. I'm going to sing a few lyrics here. I don't know about my singing, but the lyrics go, gonna leave this broken down palace on my hands and my knees. I will roll, roll, roll. Make myself a bed by the waterside. In my time, I will roll, roll, roll. In a bed by the waterside, I will lay my head. Listen to the river, sing sweet songs to rock my soul. River gonna take me, sing me sweet and sleepy, sing me sweet and sleepy all the way back home. It's a far gone lullaby, sung many years ago. Mama, mama, Many worlds I've come since I first left home. And it goes on and on. Home is where we came from and where we will all go. I have a link here that I found about 3 years ago that Weir was performing Terrapin Station, one of his recent performances at the Radio City Music Hall. It might have been his last there, I don't know, in New York City with the Wolf Brothers. And I felt like it was an awesome performance. He was more alive in this performance. He was probably doing better, obviously, with his health. And he was wearing that hat with I feel like it's a hawk or I don't remember if it's a hawk or an owl feather, but it's a beautiful feather he has in his hat. I love that feather. And I have a link in the blog of that performance. Rest in peace, Bob Weir. Into this end, we will flow as deadheads of many generations, leading our way with inspiration of a life well lived. I love to make a podcast when I am feeling inspired by either a show that I went to, or in this case, a beloved, dear musician and artist over many years that I have cherished. I will definitely do a podcast on. Now I'm going to segue and honor my son, Aryk Anthony Yorba, who is turning 31 this week in just 3 days. And originally, I was going to just have this whole podcast be on him. But then Bob Weir died a few days ago. So I'm kind of mixing it up here a bit. Now, what is special about Aryk or Aryk, it's spelled Aryk, so you can say it either way. He was born in 1995, January 15th of 1995. He was 6 months old, or almost, yeah, he was about 6 months old when Jerry Garcia died. And I remember in the spring of that year, 1995, my partner and I, my husband and I at the time, wanted to, of course, go to the shows. And we decided not to because our son was just, an infant. He was about maybe he was about 4 months old at the time. It was probably the May shows that were here in the Bay and Sacramento. And I decided my firstborn child I did not want to take to the shows. I just didn't want to have him there. I was very protective, as a new mom can be. I was hippie, but not that hippie, I guess. And it broke my heart because I didn't get to see Jerry again. And so in July, I mean, I probably would have gone that fall or late summer to see him in September or October when they came around again. But finding out in August that Jerry had passed, it just was really hard. And I remember I was driving in my car when I heard the news, and my baby was in the back seat, who's now turning 31. And I literally had to pull over on the side of the road when I heard the news because it was shocking. And I knew that I would never be able to see Jerry again. And I wanted to see him. I was looking forward to seeing him so many more times, right? I mean, he died at a young age. Actually, I think he was around my age. I'm 52. I think he was 51 or 52 when he passed. And it was shocking for all of us. And I am very grateful that the other band members kept the music going. And so many other cover bands have kept the music going, which I'm sure they still will. But the key members are now gone. And we will just forever be grateful for living a life well lived. And I hope that all of you live a life well lived, including my son, Aryk Anthony, who is turning 31. and getting his graduate degree right now at the California State University Northridge down in Los Angeles in music engineering. Yes, he is very proud of being able to play many instruments and is doing very well in school. And I'm very proud of him. And I hope that he opens his own music studio someday soon down in Los Angeles, or maybe I can get him to come up here to the Bay. And yes, so happy birthday to my dear beloved son, Eric Anthony. One soul living and other souls coming into this world and living out their dreams as we know it in current time. Thank you. Thank you to all listening. I love and appreciate you for being here. And I will talk to you in a couple of weeks.